Well, hey, it's good to see you again. My name is Jaded Ben, and welcome back to another Wax Showcase video where I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer.
Hey, what is this contraption taking up my space?
Oh, this box thing that may not be visible in the camera. That's my new tape deck. It's a Kenwood KXW 8040. I actually got it not too long ago.
Just wait till I banish you to the ghouls. You'll see.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Nothing. Carry on.
That's what I thought. Anyways, yes, we got a new tape player in the studio, and we got a bunch of other things to talk about in today's episode, but first we're going to start by what is playing inside of that brand new tape player today, and that is going to be Corpse Pile with Live, Raw, Uncut, released in 2023, independently. I picked this up at a recent show at Hotel Vegas in December, and this was given to me by my good friend David over at Circle 23, who also plays in the band Skeleton. This was the band's July 2023 performance at the Scout Bar in Houston, Texas. Easily one of the fastest rising, growing Texas metal bands going right now. They are signed to Maggot Stomp Records. I picked up their last EP as well, but this was just kind of an oddball cut. These guys have done some really, really good work, especially for Halloween and Christmas. We're going to be talking about more of those in the future, but in the meantime, this is what is going to be playing in the background. Live, Raw, Uncut by Corpse Pile. Alright, speaking of bands that are up and coming, we're going to talk about a band that we actually just saw it as well as a video I just posted, so if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I'm going to leave a link somewhere on the screen here that you can go take a look at that. But I am talking about the punk rock knights from Philadelphia in Poison Ruin. This is their 2023 album entitled Harvest, released on Relapse Records. As you can see, in all of its glory, mine is signed by the four awesome members of this project. This particular album is a really, really good introduction to the group if you've never heard them before. Basically, lo-fi punk rock with that sort of post-punk kind of leanings in there, but these guys are absolutely incredible, especially, they talk a lot about sort of the medieval stylings and everything that they've got here. A lot of friendship, a lot of togetherness, a lot of sense of community in these lyrics. We saw them with Betson Arme, as well as Concrete Elite and Mujeres Padrillas over at the 29th Street Ballroom in Austin, Texas. Such an awesome show. The band actually ended up playing 5 cuts off of this one, including Pinnacle of Ecstasy, Tome of Illusion, Torture Chamber, Harvest, and Resurrection 2. Though if I have to throw in another track that is a personal favorite of mine, I'm going to go with Slowly Through the Dark, the absolute closer on the outro, which is this sort of dungeon synth inspired, and it kind of jumps back and forth between punk rock and dungeon synth. These guys are absolutely incredible. Seriously awesome musicians, some of the nicest folks I've had the pleasure of getting the chance to talk to. Again, their style is very notorious for them. Again, a lot of the sort of medieval stylings that you see on the covers here. My particular variant is definitely an interesting one, in the sense that it is the Relapse Clear edition, which was limited to 100 copies. It was unavailable to the public. It was given to friends and family of the label themselves, though you could purchase them through Relapse Records Discogs page. I was given to this by Mr. Rennie Jaff over at Relapse Records, who sent me a whole package. Absolutely massive thank you to those guys at Relapse Records for being incredible human beings. I've had the pleasure of interacting with a good number of them. Also, massive thank you to Poison Ruin. You guys are welcome back anytime in the great state of Texas, more specifically Austin. We're kind of kicking off that big South by Southwest scene. We missed them the last time they were here, which was 2023. So we're made up for lost time. We're actually going to do a little update right now, because if you had seen my second video, you're going to notice Confrere, which I got signed as well, my number 2 release of last year. And also I was talking about the Dungeon Synth. I got Mr. Mac, aka their vocalist, and the main man behind Shadow Nail to sign this guy as well. Seriously, some incredible musicians. They're working on more stuff. Hopefully it'll be out sometime this year or the beginning of next year. And as soon as it does, you guys will know about it on the channel. So massive thank you to the guys in Poison Ruin once again. Okay, we are going to move into the, we're going to kind of stay in that up-and-coming scene vibes going on right now. And we're going to talk about the first major release that I had picked up this year for the year of 2025. I am talking about Mutagenic Host with the Diseased Machine, released in 2025 on Gurgling Gore Records. These guys are based out of the UK and easily probably one of the best death metal debuts of the last couple of years that I've heard. These guys are super duper strong. Tracks such as The Twisted Helix, Organometallic Assimilation, Promethean Dusk, and Rivers of Grief being some awesome cuts on here. These guys, I think, kind of flew under most people's radar, so that's why, again, I'm talking about them here on the channel. I had listened to a good number of records for this year prior to this one, but this, I can say with at least certainty that this was the first one that blew me away in the year. I've slowly been trying to get more and more into the UK death metal scene, which we've actually got another record we'll talk about here in just a minute. But absolutely incredible, very slow, very doomy. It does pick up the pace in places. I can see them again kind of fitting in with guys like Corpse Pile. This particular record that I have is the pink with green splatter, limited to, I believe, 150 copies. This was the United States exclusive on Gurgling Gore Records. Super filthy, super disgusting. And if you love that in your death metal, this should definitely be on your radar. I don't suspect that this will be my album of the year, but definitely worth your while anyways. These guys are making some serious waves over there in the UK scene. So go and check them out. Mutagenic Host, The Diseased Machine. Okay, we're going to keep in that UK scene with this next band. This actually just released last week. I'm talking about Vacuous with In His Blood, released in 2025 on Relapse Records. Sort of following in the same vein that Mutagenic Host was, except I think these guys are a lot more fast-paced, a lot more brutal, and after comparing it to their last record, which I very much enjoyed, I think they went a little more experimental on this record. This, honestly, again, super disgusting, super filthy, as all of the death metal in my collection really should be, but it seems like these guys have kind of taken the idea of societal failures and people being treated like absolute shit across the world and turned that into this concept for this record. It seems like there's a lot of maybe anti-religious undertones in this particular record. With these guys and Mutagenic Host kind of leading the charge, I can kind of see the UK scene becoming a little bit more and more grandiose as time goes on. The particular variant for this one was a very interesting one. This is red inside orange inside yellow, which was limited to 147 copies. This sold out pretty damn fast, all things considered. I don't exactly have a record like this one. It's gorgeous. The other side is pretty much just in yellow, or an orange inside yellow, but the other side is definitely where that shines. And honestly, well done. These guys in Vacuous. This is placed pretty high on the list so far in the year. And if you haven't checked it out, this is your call to do so. Vacuous, In His Blood, released on Relapse Records. Okay, two more. We're going to move into the thrash scene for this next one, as well as another show that we just saw not too long ago. Recently, we caught Nunslaughter on their tour with Demiser and this band that is De Solus. This is System Shock, released in 2024 on Hell's Headbangers Records. We've had the pleasure of catching these guys twice now. We saw them with Spider in the middle of last year, and we saw them with Nunslaughter earlier this year. These guys are basically Creator and Sodom and Slayer and Venom and all those early proto-thrash metal, a little bit of early old-school black metal. They also have taken a little bit of the early Slayer influence. I mean, seriously, if you listen to this and you compare it to like the very first Slayer album, it's very similar in vein. There's a lot of crossover between the two, and you can definitely tell where they get their influences from. I'm also getting a lot of sort of like Pleasure to Kill vibes from the creator on this particular record. And it's absolutely insane that this is only a 3-man project. Jimmy Frost is an absolute incredible guitar player, as you'll probably see on screen on concert footage. Super chill guys. I went to go pick this up at the merch table. Sadly, they were sold out, so I had to go pick this up. But I will be seeing them again, and hopefully we can get this guy signed. Yeah, absolutely killer thrash metal. Very old school in nature, and you know, a lot of nostalgia kind of tied to this release in one way or another. The particular variant that we got for this one kind of shares the same color scheme as the Vector's record that we just showed off, but this is in yellow and red merge, limited to 400 copies. I believe there was also a black version which was limited to 100 copies, but this particular variant is just so damn suiting the color scheme of this record. Some of the best, most energetic live performances that I've ever had the chance of seeing. If they come to you, go and see them. Seriously leading the charge. I can see these guys becoming big. They're working on some new stuff. Hopefully it'll be out this year or next year. But anyways, to Solace with System Shock on Hell's Headbangers Records. Okay, we got one more to talk about today, and this particular edition, this is more in the prog scene. This was the recent reissue of Opeth with Heritage, released in 2011 on Roadrunner Records, but later reissued on Music on Vinyl Records. Roadrunner Records, again, that as much flack as I give them, eventually once they do get around to pressing stuff, it's very well done. This was the 2025 reissue, of course. I'm just going to show you mine, of course, is numbered 2250 out of 4,000. This is the band turning away from their technical progressive death metal roots and sort of embracing that 70s prog rock standard. On here, tracks like The Devil's Orchard, The Lines in My Hand, Slither, Hack's Process, and Marrow of the Earth being some absolute awesome cuts on this one. I know how much flack this record got back in the day, and while I see the argument, I feel like this was the band getting sort of a nice fresh breath of air. The particular variant that I got was the red and black. I'm just trying to see if you can see that. It looks black on the camera. There's a decent kind of cut to it. I may have to take some photos and show it secondhand, but transparent red with black smoke. This sadly was not given out to a lot of US distributors. I paid a good chunk of money for this one, though I've already seen that price for these go up significantly over the last little ways. So once again, Roadrunner Records kind of showing that, you know, if you do eventually press the record that has been out of print for a long time, people will buy it. And I'm only missing a few more records in my Opeth collection. I feel like this one is such an underrated cut. We saw The Devil's Orchard at the ACL Moody Theater in 2021 with Mastodon and Zealand Ardor. So I do have some fond memories of this record. I remember seeing a lot of flack about it online, and I was kind of like, you know, should I listen to it? I loved it. I don't care what anybody says. Opeth is good. They've never made a bad record, and this is a good example of that. So Opeth, Heritage, released on Roadrunner Records. Well, that is going to wrap it up for today's episode. We got a bunch more awesome things coming up on the channel. If you didn't see the Poison Ruin live footage that I shot, go and check it out. This is your invitation to do so. We're going to do a couple more of those here in the very near future. I've actually got a show tonight as of this video being recorded, and one the day following. So you guys will be seeing those as soon as possible. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay metal, and I'll see you next time.